Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. In today's story, OP thinks his girlfriend should be over her grief by now, but people give him a reality check. Am I the idiot for refusing to let my girlfriend bring her dead dog's ashes on vacation? My girlfriend, 29, female, and I, 28 male, have been together for 4 months. She had a dog that died a few months before we met. I have only ever spent the night at her place. I live with my sister and her 2 kids, so it's a little chaotic at my place. Girlfriend has a small, 2 to 3 inches tall, urn on her bedside table with the dog's ashes. Before she turns off her lamp to go to sleep, she always gives it a little tap on the top and says good night, as though she is talking to the dog. I think it's weird, but I have never said anything. We were supposed to go away for the weekend. On Friday, I was watching her pack, and noticed she took the urn and put it in the top pocket of her backpack. I asked what she was doing. She said she didn't want to, quote, leave the dog behind. I told her she was not allowed to bring the urn, as it made me very uncomfortable. I didn't want to see it anytime we returned to our hotel room. I didn't want her talking to her dead dog after we've had sex, before we go to sleep. It's weird, and frankly, she's been mourning this dog for too long. She didn't argue, she simply started to unpack her bag. She told me to have fun on the weekend getaway, as she would not be coming. I asked if she was seriously choosing a dog's ashes over me. She said she was choosing herself over me, as I could have spoken to her with kindness and empathy, but didn't. She also said that I didn't get to dictate how long she's allowed to grieve. Then she asked me to leave. She hasn't replied to my texts. I think she's overreacting. My sister said she can see both of our sides. Am I an a-hole for thinking my girlfriend is weird for being so attached to her dead dog's ashes? Edit 1. The hotel was non-refundable and only a 3-hour drive, so I went on the trip without her. Edit 2. She started seeing a psychologist around the same time we started dating. She hasn't told me any specifics, but she said the trauma of suddenly losing her dog brought to the surface other trauma in her past. This is why I think she has been mourning for too long. She is still attached to the dog, even after seeing a professional, on a regular basis, for several months. Edit 3. To those of you messaging me, who think I'm not the idiot, but won't post a public comment due to the risk of being downvoted, please stop. That is cowardly. To those saying my girlfriend is a lunatic, a sociopath, unhinged, a trauma dumper, has endless emotional baggage, in need of a mental institution, etc., please stop that, too. While myself and others may not understand what she is going through, that doesn't automatically make her mentally unstable. She has a good heart and a good head on her shoulders. Name-calling is unnecessary and borderline crueler than I was. Look, do I think it's weird that your girlfriend has an urn with her dog's ashes next to her bed, that she talks to it every night and that she wants to take it on your romantic getaway? Yes. But do I also think you were a complete ass in the way you spoke to her? Yes, definitely. She's right. You could have explained your issues with her situation, you could have talked and tried to understand each other's side, and who knows, she could have opened up more to you, and she could have shared more about the problems and traumas she's been working on in therapy. And who knows, this could have brought you two closer. This conversation could have gone very differently. But no, you were a total jerk, who tried to dictate her feelings, demanding that her mourning should end already, but that's not your decision, OP. So yes, you were a total idiot here, and the way your girlfriend, or possibly ex-girlfriend, spoke to you was fair and totally understanding. And what do you guys think about this situation? Do you think OP is the idiot, or do you think he should have said something sooner to girlfriend? What would you have done if you were him? Don't forget to leave your thoughts below. Now let's read what the comments say before going to the update. Girlfriend is a total badass. I don't think she could have handled that better. Hope she finds a guy deserving of her. OP, on the other hand. Hard, you are the idiot, grow up. Her dead dog is still protecting her from bad people in her life. Good on him. He had to have been an amazing pet to her to still protect her in spirit. She is grieving, and you cannot control her. Please let her go so she can find someone who respects her. You are the idiot. She had a much longer and deeper relationship with that dog than she's had with you so far. You have no idea what she may have gone through, as far as shared experiences and support with this pup. To demand that she not take the ashes with her because it makes you uncomfortable, can you explain how it has any impact on your life, or to make yourself the ultimate decider on how long it's appropriate to grieve, only 6, 7 months, shows a complete lack of respect for her as a whole, grown person. I like this girl, she has a sense of self. You are the idiot, she chose her path, and you are not on it from the way you spoke down to her. Maybe this will teach you a lesson in how to speak to women. You are the idiot, you do not get to allow anything. Doesn't matter if she needs to move on, or if it is unhealthy or whatever, you do not get to dictate rules to another person. Glad she didn't let you get away with such terrible behavior. And what about you guys? Do you agree with the comments? What else would you say to OP? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Now let's go to the first update. Update. And I'm sure this will make a lot of you happy. I get it, I'm an a-hole. I texted my girlfriend to say I'm sorry for how I spoke to her, and for dismissing her feelings. It was wrong. I also said I would like to apologize in person, and offered to bring over her favorite takeout. But she said, all good, don't worry about an in-person apology. I gathered the things you've left at my house, let me know when you would like to come pick them up. I'm hoping she will still hear me out when I go to her place. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think she'll change her mind. But at least you realized that you were an idiot to her, and maybe you'll learn from this situation and won't do something similar to your next girlfriend, or to anyone else. Final update. I shared this post with her, thinking it might help her see that I was wrong and am owning it, and maybe it would open the door to a discussion. Well, that blew up in my face. I probably should have deleted some of the questionable comments I made in this thread. She texted to say, your things are now in a garbage bag on the porch. Pick them up sooner than later, so they aren't stolen. Goodbye OP, please respect my wishes and don't text me anymore. Ouch, yeah, that went as expected. And what did you guys think about this whole situation? And what about the updates? Were you surprised to hear about the end of OP's relationship? I mean, that girlfriend dumped him? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Oh, and I hope you are enjoying the video so far. If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. Now let's go to the next story. Am I the idiot for not wanting to switch rooms with a new disabled roommate? Throwaway because I'm pretty sure my roommates know my account names. So I live in your standard crap student house with a terrible layout. It's a 5-bedroom house with my 3 roommates upstairs and 2 bedrooms downstairs, one being fairly big and one about half the size. The big one is mine, it's a reconverted living room and it's right at the front of the house, so I get first dibs on being broken into I guess, and it's loud as hell because it's next to the road. When my roommates and I moved in, they didn't want to live on the bottom floor and I wasn't bothered, so it worked out. The 5th little bedroom has been empty thus far. It's in our contract as a storage room, but our landlord offered us reduced rent if we were to have an extra tenant. Housing in our area is very scarce, and we, being broke students, were like, yeah sure whatever. So someone came and looked at the house, the room, and is going to be signing for it. We didn't meet them, but they're planning to move soonish as far as I know. The problem is the landlord contacted us today to ask if any of us would be okay to switch rooms because the new person is disabled and can't have such a small room. We haven't been given any other details apart from physically disabled, so my roommates upstairs all went well. They might not be able to get up the stairs, so you should be the one to move rooms. The issue is, I really do not want to move rooms. The spare room is crap, which is why it was deemed the spare room. I love my room. I've signed on to this house for another year and I signed based on my nice room and being in my nice room. I have a big reptile tank, a dressing table and shit. I've done my best to make a terrible student room into a place that I actually like spending time in, and I'm not prepared to give it up. We haven't got back to the landlord with a decision yet, but my roommates are saying that if it were them that needed to give up their room, of course they would. Okay, but that's very easy to say, isn't it? And then I'm being an ass for not doing it. I really feel for this new person, especially if they're physically disabled and need the extra space, and especially since housing is so difficult to get right now, but I don't want to lose my nice room. Am I the idiot? Should I just suck it up for the next year and a bit and switch rooms? OP gives more info in the comments. It was originally advertised as a 5th bedroom when we moved in, but there was no furniture in it, in the small room, apart from a desk, and they couldn't find anyone to take it at the time, so it was written into the contract as a storage room, with the promise that there wouldn't randomly be someone moved in without us okaying it. But it is literally so small. All the rooms came with furniture of a desk, double bed, wardrobe, dresser, and bedside cabinet, and there is no way you could fit those all in there. I'm thinking too that the landlord made it seem like we'd already agreed to move rooms, or that our new roommate could have their pick, but honestly I couldn't imagine looking for housing right now. There's nothing, and classes are meant to start next week, January intake, so they may truly be taking literally anything. I think the drop in rent for everyone is just because there would be an extra person about. Landlord gets more money overall, so we pay less individually. But he still gets more rent. We all pay rent individually, but it is just an equally split cost. Honestly, I don't need the extra money too badly. I have a job, enough student loan to cover everything. Not like comfortably, but it's student living lol, but the rest of my housemates could probably really use it. I think the rooms we occupy, they're numbered, might even be written into the contract? I should check, I don't know. I do want to tell the landlord no, and I know I'm fully within my rights to do that, but my roommates will definitely think of me as a major a-hole if I don't switch, an even bigger a-hole if the new tenant walks away and we don't get the lowered rent. Okay, first and foremost, you are not the idiot here. Your housemates are, and they are also being selfish, and let's be honest, liars, because if it were any of them in your place, they wouldn't trade the bigger room for something that's compared to a closet. But the big idiot here is the landlord. He knew that this was the only room available, and he allowed this person to move in when they already said, in advance, that they couldn't stay in that room. His response should be, okay, I'm sorry, but this is the only room available. Or speak to you guys first, to find out if anyone would change rooms, before confirming that the new tenant could move in. You are not wrong to be upset and to refuse to change rooms. And I understand your housemates might be frustrated that there won't be a rent decrease, but you are not the idiot, not at all. Not the idiot. The agreement was to rent out the unclaimed room, not an occupied room. While it stinks for the person who wants to move in, you're not obligated to give up your space for someone who isn't on the lease yet. The landlord should have been clear with any prospective tenants about which room was actually available. Agree. It really shouldn't have even gone this far in the rental/application process to begin with. The new potential tenant toured the house and available room. It either works for them or doesn't. Not sure why the landlord is asking for additional accommodations on this, as it's not a whole house lease and this was the room available and I assume advertised for rent. No idiots here, your landlord can ask, but as long as they take no for an answer, they're not an a-hole. Nor are you an a-hole for not giving up your personal living arrangements for a stranger, and that same stranger is not an a-hole for having needs either. But having needs does not entitle them to shuffle your life and living arrangement around either. The friends are a-holes though. They're not having to give anything up but get a reduction in rent. Maybe if they care so much, one of them should move to the spare room and give OP theirs? Not the idiot. Your landlord is trying to squeeze more profit out of the house by renting out a room that isn't really a valid living space. There's no reason why you should have to sacrifice what you have already set up and squeeze into a tiny, unsuitable space. The landlord needs to just confess that he does not have a room suitable to that student's needs. If your roommates are so engaged in the idea, one of them can move downstairs into the tiny room and give you their upper floor room. Otherwise, they should put a sock in it. And what do you guys think of this situation? What would you do if you were OP? Would you have changed rooms or not? Do you think OP is being the idiot here? Or do you agree with him? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, go watch the video that is appearing on the screen right now or click on one of our playlists that are in the description to watch more videos. Until next time.